Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video about the most unusual and unique animals. All animals are very unique apart from the animals that mimic each other, like coral snakes and milk snakes, but because they look the same. But this is some of the most unusual, which that means like animals that aren't usually what you'd see or ones you probably haven't heard of before. There's going to be a part 2 sometime because there's so many unusual and unique animals. I couldn't fit them all because I wanted it to be a kind of short video. So I have them arranged from least unusual or unique to most unusual or unique. And the first one might be just first because I know someone who really likes it, but they're also quite unique and unusual. So I'm going to go right into it now, starting off with number 6 or number 5. I can't remember how many there are, but this is the frogmouth bird. So it doesn't really look like too much of a strange bird, but when it opens its mouth is when it's weird. When it opens its mouth, it's like so big and wide, and it's yellow on the inside. And even from the front when it closed, it looks a bit like some weird puppet. So, the frogmouth birds, they're very good parents. They take turn to sit on the eggs, the dads and the moms. That was cringy when I said moms. They mate for life. Basically, mate is like the animal version of marrying, kind of. They're masters of disguise. They're like ninjas. They can camouflage so well. Because they do have similar colors and speckling like a tree. They're from Australia, and they make unusual sounds. So this isn't creature feature, so I'm not going too in-depth about facts on them. So that's off to the side there. Here is our second unusual animal. No, it's not a toy or like made of wax. This is a real type of monkey. It's called the proboscis monkey. These boys or girls, I guess some are girls. These monkeys, I forgot to mention in my Apes vs. Monkeys video, and I was going to, but then I forgot, and I was like, I didn't mention the proboscis monkeys. So they make a noise, this weird noise, and it goes like into their big, what's it called? Big nose that looks like an egg stuck to their face. And it bounces around in there, it goes around in there, and then it comes out of the nose much louder than it sounded before. And it's just like if you've ever wondered why there's a big hole in a guitar, the nose of a proboscis monkey does the same thing as that. They're both the same. And it's called a resonating chamber. It's when the sound goes into it, bounces around inside, and comes out even louder. Really like an echo, I think you could say. Females don't have the big nose. They just look like normal monkeys. but they love the boy's big noses. The bigger the nose, the better the boy. Whatever floats your boat. I personally don't. I wouldn't choose someone with a Muppet nose, but whatever floats your boat. This is an animal called the olm, or as some other people may call it, the human fish, which is they're called that because they look like they've got little hands, and you could say they kind of look like a person. Not really. Some people get them mixed up with axolotls. They aren't the same thing. They're different. They're much longer and skinny than axolotls. But there isn't exactly too much known about these strange amphibians, but they can live for up to 100 years. This little pink thing that looks kind of like a shrimp can live for 100 years. They are cave-dwelling vertebrates. They're the only cave-dwelling vertebrate. They only live in, like, the puddle of a cave. Like, have you ever seen, like, a picture of a cave and there's kind of a puddle, pond thing in it? That's what they live in. And they live underwater, just to say, because some people, they might have thought maybe they're like a lizard. They are amphibians. They're non-amphibious amphibians.
What?
Because they're an amphibian, the word amphibian is like land and water, but they only live in water. So I call them, I don't know what I'd call them, but I wouldn't really call them amphibians if they're not even amphibious. Here is number 3, the coelacanth. This is a crazy looking fish. They've got like a bunch of fins. They're like a zombie fish. They were thought to be extinct until 1938, when one of them was discovered. They were thought to have went extinct around the Cretaceous period, which is, those who don't know, the dinosaur age, where the baryonyx lived, the baryonyx period. And I was going to say hatch, but they still are around today. They've hinged jaws, so they can open really wide. And they don't have a backbone. I'm not sure what it's called, but they have something else instead of a backbone. And they could be a help to finding out about animals going from land to water or water to land. Because if you don't know, some animals, they used to live on land, but then they evolved to live underwater like cetaceans and whales. And some animals, they used to live in water, but then they evolved to live on land. Because these animals, they've got fleshy, arm-looking fins. Their fins nearly look like arms. And they're fleshy. Because the way they swim, it's like they move their fins in a way that looks like it's walking. Like, kind of like this. Like, they're walking. That's basically what I was saying. So, number 2, a very unusual animal. I'm going to push this down there. Okay, I'm not going to.
Okay.
This is an aye-aye. It's not a pirate. And they do love knock-knock jokes. That was a terrible joke. Because, see that big long finger right there that looks like they're a witch or something? one of them witches. They made it in this picture. It looks better than they look in real life. They're horrific looking in real life. They look like a cat, like a hairless cat, but with like standy up, sticky up hair. But basically they've got a big long finger and they go onto the tree. So they knock onto the tree like, and then they go listening with their big ears like, anyone at the door? And then if they hear a little bug scuttling around inside of the tree, they go, they chew into the tree, and then they use the big finger to go, and they just eat the bug from inside of the tree, which is really, there's a sticker in my head, which is really weird. And sometimes if you're walking through the jungle and you hear, it can be a bit spooky because they're nocturnal. They only come out at nighttime. They're actually a type of lemur. Some people think they're monkeys, some people think they're cats. They're actually a lemur, like a ringtail lemur I showed in my other monkeys versus apes video. So they are a primate, not a monkey or an ape though. Finally, the final one. The slow loris. These look like adorable little teddy bears, don't they? Oh, look at them eyes. Little teddy bears, oh, they're adorable. But as it says here, cute but dangerous. And you're like, oh, how could a little teddy bear be so dangerous? Oh, could you go? Well, they are dangerous because they look like teddy bears, but actually in their armpits, they've got venom glands in their armpits. They've got a not so nice bite, and they've got pretty sharp nails. And so that's one thing. And then they look like their faces look like cobras, or cobras look like their faces, whichever way you want to put it. But they are cute, but I wouldn't really go near one. Look but don't touch is what I should say. The word loris actually means the word clown in the Dutch language. Probably because of their eye markings that look like a clown, like. They're from Asia. That's it. They're Asia. They're actually endangered species because they're often kept as pets. And basically, the people catch them and then they they pull out their teeth so they can't bite. They cut their nails so they can't scratch. And they also take away all their venom. So they're just helpless. And if you've seen a video on YouTube where someone's tickling one and its arms are up like this, you think he likes the tickling. Well, actually, he's trying to use his venom glands in his armpits. That's their defense way, is to stick up their arms so their armpits are showing so they can the venom. And they are wild and they are not pets. That is that. They are actually primates like lemurs, like the like monkeys and like apes. So, but they aren't any of them. They're some of the only venomous mammals, I mean. There is a lot of venomous animals like spiders and snakes and scorpions, but they're mammal. Of course, they're not the only one, but there's not very many venomous mammals. And the way they walk, it's kind of, it's slithery like a snake. They go like, they do have arms. They do like, it's like a snake, because I think it's the lack of vertebrae or something like that. And
too many.
Too many vertebrae. And the reason this is number 1 is because it is very unique and unusual, but also because it is a favorited animal by one of my best friends, Fiona. She helps to inspire me to make an animal-based YouTube channel and to make all these videos and start this channel. And she supports me wanting to open my own zoo wildlife place too when I grow up. And she loves slow larises, even because she thinks they're cute, because they are cute, but she thinks they're also dangerous too, and they are cute. So that is why one of 2 reasons that this is number 1. And I think they're good too. So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. It took me a little bit to kind of come up with an idea for this video. Sometime soon, I'll be letting you maybe vote on what video, maybe this week or next week. I'll see. But that's it for today's video. I'll see you next week. Like, subscribe, and touch the bell. Goodbye.